All right, guys, welcome to this week. Um, in I don't even know what you'd call it without skipping a beat. I don't. Why can't I think of the word? In
Huh?
how do you like to like how when you say that like this is not uncommon that we do, keeping up with how we
The
are.
Joneses, the Kardashians. What are
No,
we saying?
ew, gag. No, what I'm trying to
I don't
say,
know what else we're keeping up with.
we
Keeping
are
up with the
keeping
trend
in.
of how we are.
Thank you. Yes, I couldn't even think of it. We are
You're
keeping up with
welcome.
the trend of what we do to where we decide what we're going to talk about when we don't have an interview literally 1 second before we hop on. So we were
Oh,
Googling some
come on.
stuff
It was
because
10 seconds.
good
Just
old
10
Google.
seconds.
And Delancey is in charge of the topic. So I'm super excited for this one because she found a topic and then she's like, okay, we got to do this. So I will turn the time over to her so she can explain better what we're going to talk about.
Well, and it's amazing that I found it. And I was like, huh, this is neat. And then I go and I start reading, and I'm like, yeah, we should do this. It has a list in it. I like when we talk about lists. And like, I
Yes,
can
agreed.
finally read a list and get your responses, unlike the roles are reversed. But also, there was just, I mean, right before we started recording, there was just one line. And I was like, oh, yeah, absolutely. We have to do this. Like, I felt some kind of way. But what we were talking about, and it's so perfect, like, because if you think about it, okay, I'm just going to jump in the topic and then I'll explain why it's so perfect. It's basically, I found an article that talks about the truth about adopted adults and relationship issues.
Okay.
Now, I'm going to say why this is perfect. Melena is married, Delancey is single. This is why this is perfect.
Stop. And she was saying that before. This is the thing.
I
You
was.
guys know Delancey, and she's like, can I blame adoption on being single? But you
Can
know
I
she
say
would
that's the
kick her
reason?
own butt. She'd kick her
Absolutely.
own ass, like being like, no, Delancey, you can't do that. She'd kick. So I,
Yeah.
when I looked at her, I was like, Delancey, please. You of all people would be like, no.
Like, are you kidding? She literally, I said, can I blame me being adopted on the reason why I'm single? She's like, did you really just say that? I was like, yeah, I wouldn't allow myself to get away with that. Like,
She
that's so dumb.
wouldn't.
Like, that, like, there's no way. It would be like an immediate,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
absolutely not. Okay. So, so here's the thing. The article, just to sum it up, the first, about paragraph talks about how there's really not any research on it. To me, that's a red flag immediately.
What?
When there's not a lot of research, but you want to publish an article to try to act like you're the, end all be all. I can't even think of like the word for it right now, but like you want to act like you know the most about this topic, but there's not a lot of research. If there's not a lot of research, then you're not going to give a proper explanation. I don't think.
No, no, not at all. And I agree. But like, do they say anything like this is my opinion? Do they state any of that?
No, because the following sentence that says after research, it says research studies about adopted adults and relationships are few and far between, but that doesn't stop adoptees from claiming that difficulties in their platonic or romantic relationships can all be traced back to one moment when they were
Queen.
placed with a completely new adoptive family.
Are you
God,
shitting
y'all need to
me?
watch our YouTube channel so you can see her reaction right now. Like, if you don't watch it, you need to start watching our YouTube channel. Like, this is, yeah, that's
That
legitimately, that is
utterly
the first paragraph,
that
which is
disgusts
like
me.
two sentences. Yeah. How is that a paragraph? It's only two sentences.
Like, seriously?
Yeah, it just gives the ick. It really just gives the ick on that. Like, it's the ick. And I'm not saying that not all adoptees are the same. So I can understand if you feel that this is an issue. However, we all know how Melena and I feel about blanket statements.
Correct.
That's just how we
Correct.
feel about it.
Yeah.
Um, this is the sentence that I read that made me drop my phone and say, "Oh my gosh, we're definitely doing this topic."
Oh,
Ad- Adoptees can't properly bond with anyone in their life due to the trauma they experience at the hands of their birth mother when placed for adoption.
the F. I don't say the F word on this, but I was about to because that is some bull freaking shit.
Yeah, that's
So
Like,
apparently me and you are damaged is pretty much what it's saying. We're damaged and we can't form relationships with anybody because we were adopted because of the hands of our birth mom since we were
I
isn't that what it
mean,
said?
really, I think they would say more so me than you since I'm single. So,
Stop. Stop it.
but I mean, at the same time, though, that's the most like ridiculous statement because they're basically saying that we can't make friendships.
No. Well, that's what I was gonna
At
say. It's not just
minimum, friendships.
yeah, it's not just like a marriage relationship. It's pretty much
Right.
saying
It's like,
all relationships. We
right.
can't bond with
That
our
we can't have
parents who
relationships.
adopted us. We can't bond with our siblings who become our siblings. Like,
Hmm.
that's to me, that is
Yeah.
a bunch of shit because you can make friends and loved ones later on in life. Anyway, sorry. Okay, go on. Delancey just read something good. If you're watching, you
I
saw her face.
then literally the next sentence,
Oh no.
literally. The reality, we can't know for sure whether adoptee relationship issues are a direct result of relinquishment and placement, but we can't say they aren't.
Oh my hell.
Like, are we running for office? That's the only reason I could think of why you would double speak is if
Seriously,
you're running for
seriously.
office and
And
you're
use
just
big
trying
fancy
to
words.
ride the fence. Yeah, you're trying to use basic fancy words. You're trying to ride the fence. You're like many aspects in adoption, adopted adults and relationships are complicated. Relationships are complicated in general.
Whether
I'm
you're
sorry.
adopted or not.
I have never come across a relationship that's simple.
Correct. Or has issues, or have you have to like work for
Yeah,
things or anything. You know what I
yeah,
mean? There's no relationship
yeah.
that's like rainbows and butterflies. It's not like that.
Yeah, and
It's
those
not
are the
like
ones that
that.
have the biggest problems because that's the
Agreed.
stuff that happens behind closed doors that you don't know anything
Uh,
about.
agreed. Agreed.
Like
Uh,
rainbows and butterflies. I mean, as much as we want to believe that that is exactly everywhere and that's how the world works, it doesn't.
mm-mm. No,
Just, just ick.
because you're human.
Let's see. After that, I mean, please note American Adoptions. That's where this article is on AmericanAdoptions.com. Please note American Adoptions is not a licensed mental health professional.
Well, no shit. Then
I have issues with somebody who's not a licensed mental health professional or at least have some kind of experience in it, making assumptions behind mental health and not saying, in my opinion, in my experience, those like key phrases that let people know, like, hey, you're not an expert, but you do have a little bit of know how behind this. Just
it's
ick.
it's so key like we talked last week words how you
Mm-hmm.
word crap really it can come
Mm-hmm.
across, you know what I mean? You got
Mm-hmm. It comes across a whole, let's see. Did it ask you what does research say about adopted adults in relationship? There's little research.
why are we even writing about it if there's been no research done?
Why are we not doing our own research if there
Right.
hasn't been any research? Like
Seriously.
you can set up your own control group. You can get a licensed therapist to work with you. You can
Correct.
do this, but if we're choosing, okay, we're
Well,
just
it'd
gonna
just be
choose
like
not here.
why didn't
Cool,
they
cool,
even
cool.
like go poll like we polled this many adult
Facts.
adoptees and this is how they felt
Exactly.
because I
If
guarantee you
Family
it's
Feud has time to do it, they should. Y'all know me. I gotta do some comedic relief in this.
I love it.
But that's a serious point though too. Like legitimately, if a TV show can make time to make content for their TV show, if you're gonna write an article like this, you should have time to do something, even if like you, I don't know. I just,
Yeah, you can find it. You can easily find it. What?
in
Oh,
fact, no research exists at this time to squarely blame adoptee relationship issues on their placement. What the world?
then why the hell
That
are they
face.
even writing it?
Why did they say it? And then
Yeah.
they come down a few lines later and say,
Never
there's
mind.
really no research that supports this at all, but we're going to say this anyway because we like to stir the pot.
I hate the internet, and this is exactly why people see things because you see a blip
This
and
is
then Yeah.
Exactly. This is a snapshot for
Yeah.
anybody who's going through the adoption process or who is adopted. And like we joked like saying like, the reason I'm single is because I'm adopted. Like, ugh. But like that's not the reason at all.
Correct.
Like,
Correct.
I own it.
Correct.
I've been the problem for a lot, and but others have been the problem too. But it had nothing to do with me being adopted.
Correct.
Like,
Yeah,
goodness
exactly.
gracious alive. And you're going to say that it does, but then come down and say, in fact, no research exists at this time to squarely blame.
Yeah.
Ew. Just ick. Ick.
I love how southern you got there. It came out real
Ooh,
strong.
girl, it comes out. It comes out when I feel a certain way. When I feel a certain way, it comes out super strong. Let's see. It's a result of a multitude of factors. No kidding. All of them are a result of a multitude of factors.
I just like I, you can't blame one thing for one thing. That's what drives me nuts.
Mm-mm.
And then how they're sitting there like, oh, it's this. Oh, wait, just kidding.
Maybe they just were. Yeah, it's because you're adopted. That's why you're not with somebody. Oh, wait, we're just kidding. We really don't have any research for it, but we're going to continue to say it's because you're adopted. It's
What's
because
the
of the trauma.
what's the website again?
AmericanAdoptions.com. But they're not licensed therapists.
What was the
They're
one we
not
were on
licensed
last time?
medical.
This isn't the one that we were on for the pros and cons, where right? No, it wasn't, right? I don't think it was.
Oh my gosh, if it was, we really need to get this place shut down because they're terrible.
No, now I gotta see. American Adoptions.com because it sounds familiar, but I don't think it was.
Oh, this is interesting.
Just
Now we're gonna. Wow. Okay, hold on. There actually is a study in here. There's a study done in 2007 that explored the impact of adoption on individuals' attachment, security, and relationship outcomes in adulthood. While the results indicated that adoptees were more likely to report insecure attachment styles, only 7% of the variance could be attributed to a child's adoption. That is such a small. I'm just not going to go there. Instead, self reports of parental bonding were more powerful predictors of a child's attachment than adoptive status. In short, adults' relationship styles and experiences were more closely connected to their relationship with their parents, adoptive or otherwise. Attachment styles and relationships were similar for both adoptees and non adopted individuals. They are literally destroying their own argument and still making the argument. How does that make you feel, Melina? You're shaking your head over there.
well, it's just like, why would you even put that out on the internet? Like, if you don't have concrete crap to back up what you're saying, for one, and for two, you're just making speculations. How's anybody supposed to take you serious? That's my biggest thing. I can't take people serious who don't. Uh, uh, uh,
I
I'm
can't back
pretty
it
sure.
up.
No, exactly. I'm pretty sure this was the website.
The website, it is the website with all of the wabbaful facts.
Like, well, this is the same website that like we were on last week that had so much good to
Is it
say.
really?
Because isn't it like,
Like,
is this the one that you're on? AmericanAdoptions.com?
uh-huh. Wow, we're giving them two shout outs in 2 different weeks. Don't go here,
Wow.
kids. This is a terrible website.
For,
If both of us were so shocked by an article, two different like differing articles on the same website, that just
no, but
tells you.
this was good stuff. This was good stuff with
Was it?
adoption. Yeah, the one
Are
that we
you
found
sure?
that, yeah, that had all the
Who
pros
was
and
the other one that
cons.
was bad?
It was like
Just
mommy something.
oh, oh god, I almost said not the mama.com, but that's dinosaurs. Such a chat. So wait a minute, time out. Because I literally crisscross those in my brain, and that just shows how much I'm working and how much is going on that I can't remember anything unless I write it down. So last week we liked them. This week we don't like them.
Yeah.
Okay,
What
I'm
was
gonna
it that you
go.
Googled? Adult adoption relations? Because I'm gonna see if it pulls up.
Mhm.
Oh, Yeah, because last week they did a really good job about like the pros and cons of adoption. And
They're
this week
doing a terrible job with this.
they're not doing it.
But it also goes to show that just because one article is there doesn't mean like you should take everything to the bank.
Oh, look at this. Being adopted may not affect your relationships at all. Not all adopted adults and their relationships struggle. Amen. That's from consideringadoption.com.
I feel like they're very right that being adopted may or may not affect your relationships, just like being a human being may or may not affect your relationships. I
Correct.
don't understand. Like, people are people.
And then this one. So it should be no surprise that adoptees often have tumultuous, did I say that right? Adult relationships. I'm gonna go out and ask my husband. Is our relationships was this the
You should
picture?
ask him. Yeah.
Yep,
Wait.
that's the
Yeah.
exact website. Yep, that's the website.
Yep. We don't like them this week. We liked them last week. We do not like them this week.
What do adoptees have to say about their relationship struggles? Did you get that far down? Oh, ooh, that's got bullet points. You should read those.
Yeah, that was the one that was where I was getting to.
Yes.
Um, I lost my place
Sorry.
because we
Got
started
y'all
talking. No,
distracted.
it's my fault. I have squirrel moments. I'm like, what? Huh? Talk about something else? Okay, let's do that. I do this at work too. My poor coworkers. They just kind of
Whatever.
look at me sometimes. They're like, mm-mm,
Whatever. You're
going on a
being so
tangent.
fun.
I am hilarious at work. I will say that. I am hilarious. They're never bored. Never. Let's see. What you just brought up? What do adoptees have to say about the relationship struggles? That's where we talked about research may not indicate a connection between adoptions, abandonment issues, and relationships. Anecdotes continue to persist. Do you know why anecdotes continue to persist? Everybody, let me explain. Because there are more people out there. I'm just going to say it. There are more people out there that want to share with you negative opinions than they want to share with you positive opinions. It's kind of like
Amen.
a lot of times you will see reviews that are negative more so than you see reviews that are positive. It's rare you
Yep.
see a positive review. Like, you have to actually
Yep.
proactively ask people to leave positive reviews because
Mm-hmm.
they're just not going to leave them. But man, they will just keyboard warrior away if
Oh,
they
it's so true.
feel some kind of ways about something. I mean, it's true, but that's the reason why whenever hear something or read something like this, anecdotes continue to persist. I mean, that's a fancy word though. Anecdote. Hadn't heard that in a minute.
And say they're using big words.
They are big word. And what did we say about big words? In negative comments, people will use
Yes.
them to
Yes.
try to intimidate and appear to be. I think that's what I said. There's no
Or
telling. If
fear.
I
You
didn't say
put
that,
fear
I
too.
should have. They put
And
fear.
fear.
Yes.
Yeah.
If we didn't say that, we should have said that. So we're just gonna pencil that in for the negative comments. Let's see. Every adoptee is different. That's true. And no one knows an adoption story like the individual most affected.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's a given. Some adoptees believe that their adoptee relationship issues stem from their placement with adoptive parents. You literally said 2 paragraphs above that it didn't.
Oh, wow.
But now I'm so confused. Because every adoptee's experience is unique, which we agree with. They very well may they may very that's very weird. They may very well be right for their situation. We're just gonna skip this. Wait, they quote Nancy Verrier. She's an adoptive mom in The Primal Wound, Understanding the Adopted Child. I'm guessing she wrote it. I don't know. Suggests that upon separation from a birth mother, an adoptee has learned that oh my God.
No, don't stop. You got to finish it. You're leaving me.
I'm sorry. It just like it made me feel like, oh, okay. Just ick. Has learned that the environment is hostile. The mother may disappear and love can be withdrawn.
What?
She suggests that this experience affects the adoptee's future relationship with their birth parents and any future significant others. Do you see why I stopped and why I had to take a beat?
What the hell was her name? Rhonda. You're not adopted. You have no reason to say any of
Her
this
name
shit.
was Nancy. I mean, Rhonda would work too. I mean, but it's she's an adoptive mom, so that's
Exactly.
what makes me very concerned that
She
she's
has
an
no
adoptive
clue.
mom, and she's sitting here speaking for her child, saying that
Yes.
you have this pain because you were taken away and your birth mother's love was withdrawn. So I'm sorry, Nancy, was your love not good enough?
Seriously,
Did you?
that's exactly how I feel. So
That's what
you
I want
can't,
to know.
yeah.
So you can't love your child?
Ugh,
Like I almost feel like if
sad.
I have a feeling if I read this to my mom, and I think you could probably say the same thing about yours, if we read this to our mothers would be like, "Are you kidding?
Disgusted. Disgusted. Yeah.
Like,
Disgusted.
how dare you
Right.
say this that I like
Yeah.
that?" Because to me, that insinuates their love isn't good enough. That's what that insinuates.
Agreed.
And what did we say? What did we say with our negative comments? Perception's reality. Just would
Yep.
throw that out there. All right,
Yes.
continuing. Um, Other aspects of adoption that may impact your current and future relationships. Okay, so we're going to take these one at a time. Low self-esteem. I
But
don't think that's
anybody,
single to just adopted
yeah, I was gonna say
people.
anybody can have that.
Anyone can have that. While there is no evidence that being adopted causes low self-esteem, some adoptees do experience feelings of low self-worth when they don't know why their birth parents placed them for adoption. Would you like to respond first?
I can, it has nothing even to do with it. I can understand wanting to know why you were placed, but that doesn't mean my self-esteem
Mhm.
is low at all.
Mm-mm.
That's just very
Mm-mm.
curiosity of like, okay, why was I placed for adoption?
Right, right.
Not I'm
And
the shithole of the earth. Like, no.
right. Well, like, and if you have questions and you start to feel low about it, you should be able to go to your parents, Nancy,
Rhonda.
and have Rhonda, and have like conversations with them. Go to your siblings, have conversations with them, and they
Correct.
will give you that reassurance that you are loved, you're wanted, you're here, you're ours. There's
Correct.
no, but I mean, there are children out there that are with their biological parents that probably have low self-esteem because dad's always gone for work,
Correct.
mom's always gone for work,
Correct.
or they're the youngest and they get left behind a lot, or they're the oldest and
Yes.
they have to look after their younger siblings
Yes.
because both parents work, or they just want to go vacation, or they're jet setting. I mean, there's a
Right.
multitude of reasons why.
Correct.
I mean, or they can't have the latest. What is cool now? I
I
don't even
don't
know what's cool with
know.
kids anymore.
No.
Like the
TikTok.
latest. Let's be real. They're not trending on TikTok.
Yeah.
They'll
They're
have low
not
self
viral.
esteem. They're not
They don't
viral.
have
They didn't get enough likes on Instagram. They don't have the latest iPhone. They don't have the latest Apple Watch, which is stupid.
they don't have 50 million followers.
Yeah, they don't have to say the right amount of followers. They didn't, get elected homecoming court or asked to prom or whatever, or they didn't get a homecoming. Not homecoming. Is it homecoming? They do that too. I know it's promposals are a thing,
Prom
which
and
is
homecoming. Yeah. Yeah. Both.
yeah. Do they
Yeah.
propose for homecoming too?
Yeah. Yeah. Like, you mean
So
like,
wild.
yeah. No,
Like do the
no.
big thing
Yeah.
with they have like posters or like they do. What if they just got? I mean, Betty Sue's promposal, homecoming proposal was bigger than Elizabeth, and Elizabeth now
Yes.
feels low self esteem. Like
Right.
this can happen to anybody. Just ew.
Well,
Ick.
and that's the thing, like to go back to that real quick, I feel
Mhm.
like saying back in our day, it's not like we're like that old, but I feel like we didn't have
We're
near
not.
as much of shit as the kids do now. I can't even
We didn't.
imagine with everything that
Social
they have
media
to
has
keep up.
destroyed everything.
Yes. That's what I'm saying. Like,
Social
can
media
you
really has.
imagine? So low self-esteem
No,
in so many teens and they're not adopted.
exactly.
Okay, maybe some of them are,
Nancy,
but you know what I mean.
Rhonda,
Rhonda.
Deborah. Okay, we're gonna end up having people listen to our podcast that are named Nancy,
Rhonda
Rhonda, and
and
Deborah.
Deborah.
We don't mean y'all. We don't mean y'all. If your name is Nancy, Rhonda, or Deborah, we're not talking about you.
No, not at
This
all.
is this is metaphorical.
Oh,
Now, this is something that I had for a little bit when I was um kind of a little bit younger. Yeah, teens, early 20s. Fear of rejection. Some adoptees inherently fear that someone else will reject, I did air quotes around that, them due to unresolved feelings about their birth parents' adoption decision. Yeah, that's not why I had that, but okay.
I honestly never had it. The only time I ever had fear of rejection when I was seeking out my birth mom. But I knew I was not rejected by my parents or my siblings or family or anybody around me.
Mhm.
Does that make sense?
Oh
That's the
no,
only
that
time I've had
100%
it.
makes sense.
Yeah.
See, and for me, my fear of rejection, it wasn't with my family, it wasn't with my friends.
Yeah.
It was when I was working. I was worried that I wasn't going to do a good enough job
See, that makes
and I
sense.
wasn't gonna, and I was having fear of rejection from my bosses and from my coworkers. And so,
Yeah.
but that I feel like it's a little bit of
And Delancey
just,
blames adoption for that.
I do blame adoption for that. How dare that happen? All
Oh my
because I fear that someone will reject
God.
me due to unresolved feelings about my birth parents' adoption decision.
I like how robotic you read that.
I mean, just gotta throw that out there. Well, it's just that's so crazy. Like, I mean, it's not crazy because I'm sure there's somebody who has validity with this and like they do feel
Correct.
this way.
Yeah.
But I don't believe this is a blanket. I mean, it goes back to
No.
making blanket statements. Like, let's not do that. It's not okay. It's not right. It's not nice.
Correct.
Be kind,
Well,
people.
and it goes back to like I can always think of Taylor's because we had so many people so appreciative of Taylor's episode of how she said
Mm-hmm.
if you were to Google this shit on the internet, I can't believe
Mm-hmm.
like I get why nobody would want to adopt. Like, and it
Mm-hmm.
goes back, we keep finding these things that would terrify people. You know what I mean? Like, it's great. I'm gonna screw this person up no matter what I do because
Yeah,
of
I mean, and not
Rhonda
just
on the
that, but like
internet.
Rhonda and Nancy on the internet messing up for everybody. Deborah too. It's like, I mean, it's I'm almost worried that like there's an adoptee out there too. Not just like parents who want to adopt, like I totally agree with that, but like there's an adoptee out there too that will start reading things like this. And I had somebody tell me a long time ago, garbage in, garbage out.
Oh, they'll
And if they
internalize it.
constantly,
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly what you're
and they
saying.
const
Yeah.
yeah, if that's all they read, then if they don't already feel some kind of way, they will eventually feel some kind of way.
Well, and I know I've said this, and I'm going to say it again. I started to get sucked in before I met Delancey. And I was thinking that I had to feel all sorts of a way. And then thank God for her, literally. Thank the good Lord above for her because she feels just like I did. And I felt like there was nobody out there that felt that way. So that's why I'm super grateful for her because I'm like, okay, good. I I'm glad that somebody else thinks all these asinine comments that are said are so stupid and just make it like shitty for the adoption world. That's why we do what
Mhm.
we do. So do
It's
what we do.
exactly why we do what we do, and it's exactly why
Yeah.
God brought us together because we are so like-minded. And it's great though because we are so like-minded. We do sometimes disagree, which we are very honest
Correct.
that we do disagree
Yeah.
occasionally, which is
Yeah.
normal. I feel like that's completely
Yes.
normal.
Yes.
And at the same time, it's kind of like even with like I think like the things we disagree on are like so minimal, like really doesn't even like a thing. But at the end of the day, we're both just going, yeah, no,
No.
we need to be
Yeah.
louder than
Well,
the
it
others,
like
even if we're just like a little voice, like that little voice is going to be like constantly
correct.
going.
Well, I can think of things like Delancey could have cared less about medical history. I think for me, it was made such a big deal
Mhm,
because my mom always made it such a big deal. I wish I had more medical history. I wish I had more medical history. So, me just growing up, it was ingrained in my mind. I need medical history. But, like, if you're being real, like, and like Delancey kind of opened my eyes to that. And same with like when, I don't even remember what it was too. We were talking about that. Like I really wanted to seek out my birth mom and Delancey didn't
mhm,
care as much too. But
mhm,
that's what it goes back to what the article said is what I'm trying to get at is like every story is different. And
mhm,
you can agree to disagree, but ours aren't
mhm,
like big crazy weird things. It's just kind of
mhm.
like you feel this way, I feel that way, but it doesn't matter that we each other feels that way.
Right.
We're still supportive and love each other. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
it's not a big deal.
Well, And I think that's what you said, a key word in there. We're still supportive of each other. Like,
Yes.
that's the key word, is being supportive, because the whole entire reason of having a community of anything is to be supportive of each other, not to tear each other down, not to go after each other, not to rip each other apart. Like, I know we're sitting here and we're going ick like to a lot of the things in this article, but that's our opinion. We're allowed to share our opinion. I mean, at the end of the day, but when you get down to it, when you have this much icky stuff in one article,
Yeah.
like, I just don't, I personally just do not think that's right, especially when you're not making it clear that this is an opinion piece.
Right.
This is very
Exactly.
clearly an opinion piece.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay, stepping
Yeah.
down your
Well,
soapbox.
and did you hear what Delancey said? Our opinions. She stated that these are our opinions. And Delancey didn't say backed up by research. It's just simply, hey, this is how we feel. And you, if you're listening long
Backed
enough,
up our
you
life,
know that.
man.
Yeah.
Backed up
Our
our life,
experiences.
our experiences in life. But and that's the other thing, is that, we have very different experiences in life. I mean, we're even from different religions. You can share your experiences and have the same common goal and understanding and be supportive of each other. You don't have to
Yes.
walk directly in the same footsteps. Like,
No.
I
No.
mean, I swear, I'm on something today. Let's see. Next bullet point:
Oh, she rolled her eyes. You missed it. She rolled her eyes.
fear of abandonment. Some adoptees, especially those who were adopted out of foster care, may have developed a belief that those they love will leave them in time. Okay, I take back my eye roll, because I can understand the foster
With
care thing.
Foster.
I
Yes.
get
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that they specified what they were
Yeah.
talking about. They
Yeah.
did start to make a blanket statement, and they made it more specific. So
Yeah.
I withdraw my eye roll for the second part, because I mean, that's a lot.
And we've learned that about foster. That's something me and
Yeah.
Delancey have both learned from the people we've brought on that have talked about foster,
Mhm.
is that even though adoption happens in foster, we've learned that it is drastically different than if it's like from somebody who chooses to place right out the gate. Not
Mhm.
somebody who's trying to keep their family together.
Mhm. And not just that, but even if they're not fostering to adopt, if they're just doing the placement for the reunification, the
Yes.
things that we have learned that happen,
Yes.
that
Yes.
that's the thing. Like, I mean, even one of my sisters called me and said, you hear about things like that, like you hear about it in the movies, you hear about it on television, but she goes, to hear a real person talk about things that happen like this, it's just a whole new level of understanding. And so for them to be afraid
Yeah.
of abandonment, I
Yeah.
get that.
Yeah.
I mean, but
100. Yeah.
not taking away from this. I don't want anyone to think I'm taking away from this. Don't cancel me just yet. Give me a moment. Doesn't everybody have just a twinge of fear of abandonment at
Yeah.
some point in their life?
No, totally.
Especially,
Totally.
like, and it
Totally.
doesn't have to be like a romantic partner.
No,
It could
correct.
be their family, a family member, friendship.
Your mom and dad, brother, sister, cousin,
Mhm.
anybody that you're, yes, no, 100%. I totally agree with that. One hundo. Like, seriously. Oh,
Okay, this one might actually apply correctly to me. I'm not going to let it be the reason why, but
it's,
fear of change. I'm not the biggest fan of change. Takes me a second. I have to process. An adoption journey is full of change, no matter the circumstances. Some adoptees don't cope with it well, and it may result in them staying in unhealthy relationships longer.
I would just say it's not adoptees. There's lots of people that don't
Not
like change. I know I have a handful of friends and family who I know that don't like change. They're not adopted.
right. I don't. I think that's just like a human trait.
Yeah, agreed. Agreed. Because there's everything in somebody's life that they don't want to change. I don't care who you are.
Mhm.
There's
Yeah.
some people who live for it, but the majority of people, they have at least one little thing in their life that they don't want to change, whether it's big or
Right.
small. Don't choke and die. Please don't.
Right. I mean, there's some people who like consistency.
Yeah,
They just
exactly.
want it to be consistent. Like
Yeah.
you said, even if it's just like something little, like it
Yeah.
has to be consistent.
Correct. Exactly. She still gives the best
Literally.
reactions, even though I'm not blind reading. I love it because she reads it.
Because I'm blind reading it to myself. That's the problem.
I love
I
it.
read the sentence before. I'm glad I didn't read it out loud because I probably would have said something I shouldn't have said. It's important to note that these fears and emotions can come from any life situation, not just from adoption. Well, no kidding. I am so
Seriously
glad
though.
that you specified that we didn't already know that. Like, what the? That's why
Is that the
many
end?
adoption researchers believe being adopted is only one aspect of an individual's possible relationship issues.
What? Okay, this is one thing I wanted to, people, if you're going to go on and read things, please make sure you read the whole thing and not just the top. Because if you were to read the top, man, like, because it's gone down more, obviously they've contradicted themselves more, but seriously.
Multiple times.
Ugh. I don't
What can you do
understand
if you're struggling
it.
with adoptee relationship issues? Oh, cool. This is geared towards me. Cool. Cool, cool, cool.
Stop.
I literally cannot help it. I cannot help it with this because this is so like, so bananas. Knowing the potential reasons behind your adoptee relationship issues may help, or it may just further confuse you, especially if you still have no clue where your relationship fears come from.
Well,
I like please help me understand the reason why we feel the need to like legitimately double like
does it say who wrote it at the
like
bottom?
knowing the reasons may help, but it just may further confuse you. So like,
You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. It's pretty much what they're saying.
I'm just yeah. A
Does it
licensed
have oh no, go
huh,
ahead.
go
Go ahead.
ahead. No, go, go,
No, I
go.
was gonna say, does it say at the end? You'll have to tell me at the end if it says who wrote it, but don't go there yet. Keep reading.
A licensed mental health professional can make all the difference in this situation.
Make all the difference no matter what
Yeah,
the situation is.
thank you. Preach. We encourage you to seek out an
Okay.
We encourage you to seek out an adoption trained therapist to work through any recurring adoptee relationship issues and concerns. Didn't they already say that there's no real research to back this up? So how can there be an
Yes.
like,
Wow.
and I know Kim, when she talked to us, she was explaining to us that the birth mothers get counseling, but I have a feeling that that's more like of a grief counseling type deal and how
Right.
to
Right.
maneuver and
Right.
everything like that. So
Right.
I never want to take away from therapy or from counseling. I am a very big advocate for mental health and making sure you're taken care of.
Correct.
This is not so. And I'm not trying to say that like in a derogatory way. I'm just saying that this is just, I just don't understand how we can ping pong back and forth.
That's what I was just gonna say. It's a lot of contradicting. Like you say one thing and then
Yeah,
nope, and then one thing and then nope, and then one thing and then nope.
right.
And it's like
It's like, how are you going to tell me that there's no
confusion.
research behind it, but you need to find an
Right.
adoption trained therapist? Like, I don't understand that. How can they
Yeah.
be trained if there's no research?
Seriously.
Like, I
Seriously.
mean, call me crazy. I didn't go to
No.
medical school, Avi, but I feel like that there's like a little bit of training involved that is backed up by case studies.
Oh, agreed. Agreed.
Okay, just making sure I'm not
No.
um. Let's see. Here we go with a smart sentence. Hold on. Hold on, wait, I skipped a sentence. Wait, back up. Pause
Okay.
the smart sentence. Here's the other sentence. A counselor competent in adoption can help you examine your fears about relationships, get to the bottom of them, and provide some helpful guidance moving forward.
Can't a counselor do that for anything though? Not just
Bingo.
adoption.
Bingo. Bingo. Was his name-o. Bingo. Every adoptee, this is the smart part. Every adoptee's journey is unique, and there is no one size fits all solution.
Well, duh. Thank you. No shit, Sherlock.
I right. I feel like that's the first like smart thing they said it one other time in the article, and I feel like that's like the two times they've been smart.
Why wasn't this like the first thing that they said right out the gate is
Uh,
my question.
because it would have completely contradicted what they were trying to say, even though they contradicted themselves multiple times. Let's let's see. However,
Oh.
it may
Oh.
also be helpful to read blogs and books from adoptees like you to gain new perspectives. Now, those are hyperlinks, and I'm not going to click them because that worries me because I really feel like they're not wrong that you should read and understand.
Different
But
experiences,
when you
yes.
read and understand, take in all aspects. I
Correct.
disagree with reading only things that are like you because the
Correct.
adoption community is a very, very large and vast community, and you can learn a lot about yourself by learning somebody else's story. And
Well,
that story doesn't always have to be just
and I
like
feel like
yours.
that's proof on the few people that we've had on here, different parts of the triad. You know what I mean? Like
Exactly. Different
birth
parts of the
moms.
triad, different walks of life, different,
Exactly.
aspects of all of it.
Yeah.
Um, in the meantime, we encourage you, that was country. In the meantime, we encourage you to seek out the help you may need. Remember, you are worthy of love, and there are people out there who will love and support you no matter what. All you have to do is ask for help when you need it. You know what? That's true. I agree with that. I do
Yeah.
agree that you do have people
Agreed.
who love you and
Agreed.
support you. The hardest
Agreed.
thing is to ask for help,
Yes,
but you
agreed.
should do that.
Agreed.
Um, It says disclaimer, information available through these links is a sole property of the companies or there are a couple links there, whatever. American Adoptions Incorporated provides this information as a courtesy and is no way responsible and is in no way responsible for its content or accuracy. That's just a very fancy way to say we're not responsible. We're just gonna share whatever. We're just gonna
Oh,
it was a slow news week and we needed content. I feel some kind of way about this. And it doesn't have who wrote the article or compiled it or anything.
what doesn't? Dang it. I was hoping it
Uh-uh.
would.
See though, but that's even more disturbing. Was this okay? Was this one article? Because there's several hyperlinks in here. So was this one article? Was this several articles? Was it like multiple people who
Right,
God,
right,
I hope
right,
not.
right.
I hope it was not multiple people because I would like to think there are not that many people out there that
Yeah. Think Oh, you have to go watch what just happened with her.
I'm just gonna stop because it's
She
not
was
what I was
like
about to say.
totally going off, and then all of a sudden she just smiled.
I just because what I was about to say was not about to be nice, and I don't want to be that person. But at the same time, like, I mean, we're just going to share this article, but we're not responsible for the content of it. Like, ew,
Seriously.
ew. Like, you're
Seriously.
basically the TMZ of adoption.
That's hilarious. Oh,
I mean,
okay.
TMZ sometimes has like fun articles, so I feel like that's accurate.
It's true. It's true all the time. So then they make life more, I don't even know what to say, dramatic than it needs to
Interesting.
be.
Train wreck,
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Yep.
clickable,
Exactly.
clickbait. That I honestly feel like that was a little bit on the clickbait side.
Agreed.
The headline was completely different than what it was.
Yes.
And I mean, I don't blame my being single on not being able well, rephrase. Hold on. Pause. Scratch that. Let's try again. I don't blame being single on being adopted
Yeah.
because I know I can develop relationships. I mean,
Yeah.
that's because I can relationships aren't just like a romantic partner. or a husband or a wife or whatever. It's friendships and it's coworkers and, being able to develop relationships that are, positive.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I feel like instead of people blaming an external factor for not being able to do that, they should probably, um, I don't know, look at themselves.
Yeah. To follow up, because I was kind of peeking around on Google. I'm not going to go over this one at all. This will be homework, or if you're listening and you want to go to consideringadoption.com. Kind of the same, except for they don't blame. Does that make sense? They don't blame. They go. I mean, I feel like some of them are some that you read, but I feel like also some of them are. Oh, maybe it's kind of similar, but the things that stuck out to me were just kind of like if you have a strained relationship with your caregiver, okay, no matter whether you're adopted or not, I could see that happening. Like to have relationship issues. Again, it's not adoption. And they said that on here. I don't know.
Wait, I'm sorry. What? If you have a strained relationship with your caregiver,
Yes, some people have tried to connect insecure infant attachment to caregivers with strained adult relationships later in life, but most, I can't even talk, but most adoptees who were adopted at birth had secure attachments to their caregivers, and there hasn't been any correlation between the theory and the suggested outcome. So I like what they said there. They're saying it can happen, and that's where I'm saying is like, it doesn't matter if you're adopted or not. If you have strain with a
right,
parent growing up, yeah, you can have some serious issues. But I like how they said that. They
right,
said ones who are in secure, which I feel like me and Delancey have
right.
really amazing parents who raised us, who loved us, who knew we were loved, who took care of us, all those kinds of things. Doesn't mean that we're gonna have strained relationships. You know what I mean?
Mm,
Like, it's not what it
I
means at
just
all.
feel it
Yeah,
just.
it's true.
I mean, because it's possible to have a strained relationship because of your situation
Yeah.
with adoption, depending on when you're adopted, I guess.
Yep.
Well, not I guess. I mean, that's factual.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
article pointed out, if you're foster care, that makes sense. But
Yeah.
it's not the situation for all of them.
Agreed. No, I totally agree.
But I do agree with you. I like how they said that. I like how they brought that up because I feel like they did it in a way that was informed and it wasn't using big words to intimidate.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So
Just
just be careful. I mean, lesson every time when we look at things, just be careful what you Google. Just be careful what you read.
mhm,
And I like what Delancey said on the thing is it said to intake every personal experience that people have had, but also be wary
mhm.
because sometimes the negative likes to come full frontal in front
Oh
of the
my gosh,
positive. Yeah.
all the time. It just wants to show up all the time,
That's horrible.
especially if your life is going well.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. 100%
So
agreed there.
don't go and inviting that negativity up in your life if your life is going well. Like take
That's
it
true.
in, but expel it back out.
Yep.
Just saying. And
Yep.
that's with anything, though.
Yep. It's so true. So, you okay?
Sorry, she like did this yawn. I don't know if my microphone picks up. She did this like yawn
Oh,
thing,
no.
and it was like,
I didn't hear. So you're good.
and by she I mean pocket, in case anyone is curious. Just to clarify.
She's right there. She's so cute. Chilling on your lap. She
Yep,
loves you.
she Tuesdays are my busy days, so she likes to sit in my lap because I've been gone all
Well,
day.
yeah. No, I don't blame her. Anything else that you want to add on that? That went super fast. Holy cow.
That did it go
Yeah.
super fast.
No, it did. It's almost like 8 o'clock. That's crazy. Almost 9 o'clock your time. That went like
I was about to
crazy.
say, what do you mean almost 8 o'clock? It says eight. Oh, I thought you meant it was like a super short time. And I was about to be like, Melena, it is like
No,
almost 9 o'clock here, 8 o'clock
no.
there. Like you crazy girl. It was not. It was not short. Like that was. We talked about a lot.
That's what I'm
And I
saying. That
think
went super fast. Like as far as talking about all of it, all of a sudden, like, because I feel like we talked about a lot, but I blinked and all of a sudden it's like, oh, it's 8 o'clock.
all of a sudden it's like, all of a
Yeah.
sudden it's time, like, whoa, it's time for
Yeah.
bed. What's this? Like, I was wondering why Parker was looking at me like for
Let's
real,
go.
we
Let's
gonna do
go.
this or what? Like,
Let's
let's
go.
go.
That's so
Like,
funny.
that's so funny. My dog is like, seriously, let's go get in bed. I'm tired.
She's like, I'm done. I'm done.
I, I wish you could see her. She's like turning around looking at me right now, and it's she's like, "You're talking about me?" Yes, I'm talking about you. Sorry, sorry, little girl.
Cute girl.
Did I have anything to add? No. I I mean, just end of the day, like you said, just be careful what you Google, and I feel like that applies to anything. Like if you're not, if I can't remember if you said it in a conversation, or if I read it, or if I saw it in church, or probably a combination of all of everything, just because my days and weeks and everything run together now. Football season, woohoo! Um, I, you need to be careful what you're looking for. If you're looking for negativity, you will find the negativity, and it will end up breeding inside of you,
Mhm.
affecting your mental health. That will affect your physical health, and that will affect
Yep.
your relationships. Haha, and that you bring it up then.
Look at you
But everything
tying it
else
all together.
will. But yeah, you like how I tied that back together. So just be careful whenever I think whatever it comes down to, whether it's Google, Instagram, TikTok, anything, protect yourself
Correct.
and make sure that you have, if you need help, ask for help. And
Yeah.
if you are looking for answers, look for all the answers, not just an answer that backs up what you're thinking.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay, that's it.
Amen. I love that. No, that's great. We'll close it out with that because that was wonderful. As always, thanks for being here, guys. Thanks for joining us. We hope these are always helpful because that's what we're going for. So thanks for joining us, and we will peace out.